guys, we have a great Between the Pond in store. Before we get into it, I want to thank our episode sponsor, Braden River Antiques. Braden River Antiques is an antique shop in Sarasota, Florida. They cater to all kinds of high-end, exotic, really cool antiques. Check out their website. There's a link in the video description. If you're in the Sarasota area, you can stop by their store. They're at 1005 East Avenue in Sarasota, Florida. Their hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And again, they have, I was checking out the website. I've never physically been there, but I've known Braden River Antiques for a while. They've been a sponsor before, and they've got some really cool stuff, and I'm sure they ship internationally, or at least they ship online. So check out their website, visit their store if you're in Sarasota, and with that, let's get into the magic. Some junk, dump them down. Here we are. These are all 64s?
Yep, I believe so.
Dimes. I'm gonna throw these in my counter. Okay, we have token, centennial year.
Yeah. That one's not worth anything, right?
Yeah, it's $1.
Yep.
I'll still buy it.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah.
$75.
Okay.
And anything else?
No.
Well, I hope you can make a couple bucks on them.
We'll see. I think
you can.
Yeah, I think I can. That deal was about $1,400 just on the junk. I make all my money back plus $200 just on the junk silver. There's some world coins in here I got to go through. One thing that stuck out to me, I've come to learn, New Zealand coins are actually pretty rare. It doesn't matter if this is a 1941 1 penny. This is probably $5 at least. All right, so I'm starting to separate this out. It's been a couple hours. It was busy and then it died down. So let's kind of go through this, see if we can find any key dates. Now, it's so meticulous to do this, but as we've covered before, and I have done this before, when you get a big deal like this, you do have to go through everything, because if I find one coin that's the right date, it could be worth $1,000. That's something that I don't want to miss out on because I'm cutting corners and rushing. The curse of Evan Kale. I rush everything. It's my biggest flaw. That and being a f***ing asshole. With a heart of gold. Now the fun part. Let's go through all the pennies. We're looking for 09S, VDB, 14D, 31S, 24D, 26S. Hang on, we got one. Nope. Okay, let's see how fast I can go through this. Time lapse. Minutes later, no cigar, but at least we tried. Now let's do the dimes. All right, so fortunately we struck out on that. As far as the good coins go, most of the stuff it's just junk silver value. I paid him 13 times. I can get about 16 and a half on the market, or retail I can get closer to 20. So on that whole deal, I'm estimating about $400 profit on that deal. Yeah, on to the next. Now, I actually produced these bars at a perfect time because he's been in the news again, and there's just been a lot of interest because the story's come back up. Now, we talked about the story already. I'm not going to repeat what happened. If you don't know the story, how? It's like the most famous American crime story, or certainly one of them of all time. So D.B. Cooper, he left very few clues. One of the clues were the $20 bills, because he had his money in unmarked 20s, and they found a couple hundred of them years after his crime in the early 1980s. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I am desperately trying to buy one. I have been looking for months. I check eBay literally every day. I'm offering a $250 reward to anybody who can secure me one or get me one or point me in the right direction, and I can get a real one. It's got to be graded and authentic. I'm not going to finish my D.B. Cooper exhibit for my true crime thing that I'm building in my store. I showed the H.H. Holmes one in my last video, but I'm gonna hold off because I want that banknote in the D.B. Cooper frame. Anyway, so what's going on with D.B. Cooper? Well, it's actually now, it seems like gonna be only a matter of time before they figure out who he was. The reason being, not only did he leave the 20s behind, he left a tie. He left this JCPenney clip-on tie, and they have been analyzing this thing for 51, 52 years, however long it's been since the crime. It took place in 1971. And thanks to advances in technology, they're getting close. So originally, they were able to pick up these particles of metal that were on the tie, and these particles were specific. So specific, it led them to think that he might have been an employee at a place called Crucible Metals, which was a metalworks facility in Pittsburgh in the 1960s and 1970s. Now, it's thought if he did escape, he probably took a train heading back east. So just the location of Pittsburgh and the train, because he jumped near some train tracks, it's thought that if he did survive, he hopped on a train and he took it out. So he indeed might have been from Pittsburgh, but he also left traces of DNA. To be specific, metagenomic DNA. It is very, very, very specific DNA that if one of his relatives takes a 23andMe or one of those ancestry things that people are doing now, in the same way that they've caught serial killers recently, somebody related to a serial killer would take a test and they'll get a hit that somebody whose DNA is close to what was found on a crime scene. Well, who else are the relatives? Who else was the suspect? They've nabbed a few serial killers thanks to doing that. So they're pretty confident. It's actually right now mainly amateur sleuths that are doing this on the internet, but they're using information, they're using technology, they're sharing information with each other. It really does seem like they might be close to solving the D.B. Cooper case, maybe even this year. Now, personally, I think he's dead by now. The crime was 51, 52 years ago. He was in his 30s, like late 30s back then, so he'd have to be very old now. So we shall see what unfolds. This is a very exciting development, and again, you guys, my true crime series is ongoing. I am currently working on the third criminal. I will be revealing it probably in the next video. Well, stay tuned. I got a remote deal here. I'm gonna thank my follower, Mika, for sending me this stuff. Let's open it up. Holy there's a lot of stuff. Never seen these before. Lynchburg Centennial. I always found the name Lynchburg to be ominous. Why is that, Evan? Oh, you know. Name just kind of ties me up, you know? Leaves me hanging. So, 6 Lynchburg Bicentennials, check. 5 gram Atmex, 1 gram gold, check. 5 ounce silver bar, check. 3 Walking Liberties, check. Check on those. 17, 20 Maples. All right, let's see if he'll take 2120 for this stuff. We got a deal? Cool. Simple as that. Done deal. This stuff and all the other great stuff, you guys, pawnmanstore.com, or check out my Whatnot auctions. There's a link in the video description. I hate people that talk with a pen in their hand.
He's a creepy old man in a windowless van who wants to babysit the con artist can.
America's favorite pedophile returns. Oh god, we haven't seen this guy in like a month. More than that, like closer to like 2 months. How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I am fabulous. Guts. Oh my god. God, it's terrifying. Okay. Number 53. This thing is terrifying. Okay, collector doll. Marianne Goats. $20.
Do you gotta better.
I can't do better. $20 is what this gold and silver business wants to pay for this creepy doll. Yeah, I'm at $20. I kind of don't want to buy a creepy doll, and I guarantee you this thing is haunted.
Help me, help me.
That is me helping. This is a gold and silver business, and I'm buying a creepy haunted doll. I do coins, I do jewelry. Creepy dolls, not so much.
That's worth some money, that doll.
Might be worth money to somebody else, but to me it's worth $20. Well, sorry we couldn't make a deal.
Sorry.
I hope this doll does not haunt you. All right, I'll go throw this in the van, and we'll send you on your way.
Yeah, do a little bit better than that.
I don't know. Oh my God, how many times do you have to do this dance? We've been doing this dance for like 3 years now. I want to offer you $20. That is what I want to offer you, this owner of a gold and silver business, for a doll that has nothing to do with what I do. So $20, take it or leave it. Get you all 5s if you want. Some good Chuck E. Cheese money. No? Okay. I'm really busy, so I'm gonna cut you off then. All right. I need to establish some more firmness with him because I've been kind of soft on him the last couple times. Yeah, I could see it in his eyes. He thought he could twist me for one, and I thought, oh wait a minute, I need to remind you. No, this is my store. I'm the sheriff. I ain't going above 20. I say 20, it's 20. It ain't going any higher. That doll, I couldn't get it looked like it was like a $50 doll. So after eBay fees, meaning I would have probably taken a $40 offer. After eBay fees, $30. At $20, that borderline wasn't even worth me buying. But don't we love the con artist? Once again, you guys, I want to thank our episode sponsor, Braden River Antiques. There's a link in the video description. Braden River Antiques is an antique shop in Sarasota, Florida. They're located at 1005 East Avenue in Sarasota, Florida. They are open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday through Saturday. Check them out. Visit them online. Again, they have a lot of really cool antiques. Visit their website and see what they got. Maybe do some shopping and see if you want to take home a nice, exotic, super cool antique. Thank you, Braden River Antiques. And with that, you guys, we're between the pond. I'm Evan, and I'm having a really bad time right now. In fact, I'm having such a bad time. You guys might have noticed I did not put out a video last week, and it's because holy am I dealing with a lot of stuff right now. And unfortunately, just due to the nature of how insane all of this is and what I've had to do to protect myself and deal with this calamity that I'm dealing with, I literally can't talk about it. I was told to shut the up until this is done. I may not even be able to talk about it when it's done. Let me just say this. I am the victim, and there's some crazy that is happening to me right now. I'm also having a lot of stuff happen in my personal life that I also don't really feel like sharing, but I'm just dealing with a lot. And again, there's so much going on. There's so much crazy and just so much that I'm dealing. I didn't put out a video. Okay, that's it. That's all I'll say. So, getting into questions. All right, question 1 coming in from T. Foy. Do you still show customers that you deal with? So ultimately, I'd like to show everyone. It's kind of a slimy thing to do in my opinion because there's a lot of private people and not everybody wants to be on camera. Even, it's the reason why I don't put people on camera is because I don't make enough money off of this yet. And I would for sure be blowing deals. People would get up and walk out if I stuck a camera in their face. Now, Minnesota is a one-party consent state. You walk in here, you're mine. I can do whatever the I want with you with filming us outside of filming in my bathroom. I'm not Tickle Monster Gal. So I don't put people on camera for that reason. And what's interesting to me is this camera's not small that I am using. And when I first started doing this, I was so afraid, one, that where I was working, they were gonna find out what I was doing and want to shut it down before it even had a chance to grow. Thank God that didn't happen. But 2, I was certain that this big camera sitting right there, people are gonna ask about it and get really uncomfortable. I can count on one hand the amount of people that have noticed it. It's kind of becoming an intelligence test to me in that if you notice the camera, you are an observant person because 99.9% of people don't think anything of the camera sitting right there, this big camera. And I usually hit the record button as they sit down, and then if they ask what I'm doing, I say I'm doing YouTube. I don't lie about it, but almost nobody notices the camera, and I think that's really interesting. The rule is, if your ass acts a fool in here, you're rude to me, you're trying to scam me, you're running a scam, you're a thief, you're some kind of piece of then your ass is going on the internet. You. You walked in here. You walked into my territory. So guess what? I own everything here, including the video content, and I will ring you for all you're worth on camera, but right now those are the only people I put on camera. All right, question 2 is coming from Ricardo Martinez. Anyone? No, sure. It says, what is your point of view on gold bags? I answer this question? No, I think somebody asked me that on a whatnot auction. They're cool. Functionally, they're useless because we're not going to get into a Mad Max barter system. That's just not going to happen. Anybody online telling you that's going to happen, when has that happened? We have too much stability, there's too much going on, we have too much security, and so the functionality of a gold bag is if that does happen, well, gold buys you a lot. It has a lot of purchasing power. So the functionality of a gold bag is it's a very tiny amount of gold. It's functional in that it's a gold dollar, or it's made to look like a dollar. It's they're generally 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. If you're talking about the modern gold bags, I'm gonna assume that you are and not address the old ones. So that's functional, but you're paying 3 times melt to get that, and that's a very high premium. When you're buying a commodity, you want to buy as much as possible, as cheap as possible. Simple as that. Question now. Pinch my nipple to get moved. There we go. Woof. Peach. Stuck a child beauty pageant. Twin girls. Tall. Blonde. Read the ballot box. Make them both win. Chaos amongst the parents. They're fighting you. Black bag the 2 of them. With chloroform. Throw them in the van. Drive them home. Take them out. Drag them through the kitchen. Start waking up. Stand them up. Pull off the bag. Make the 2 twin girls look down that long flight of stairs. You say, welcome home. Kick them down face first. Both of them at the same time. The day the Twin Towers fell. Most erratic day of my life. Tickle Monster Gal. I thought of that while I was running. Tickle Monster Gal says, when have you seen a customer the most mad? That's actually a good question. The angriest person I've ever seen. Okay, I don't want to get into it. Many of them I've never met because they're on the internet and they're insane. The angriest person I've dealt with in person, it was actually right when I started. No, come to think of it, it was why I was like, I need to start recording this. This is gold. It was me and the person that I was working for, and we're dealing with this older, Middle Eastern guy, and he came in. It was a super hot day. We offered him X amount of money for his stuff, and I think we offered him $700 or $800, and he said, okay, I'll think about it, and he left. Came back a week later, even hotter day, and I'm going through his stuff. It's the same stuff, but I realized, oh, wait a minute. I made a mistake here. I made a mistake here. I made a mistake here. The price had dropped on gold. So the new price was $250, and he's like, but you offered me $700 last time. And I'm like, well, you should have taken it last time. I made a mistake. None of this is gold, / maybe you switched it out. and the price dropped, and the price that I'm paying is subject to the market price. You can't sell a stock and want yesterday's price because today the stock went down. That don't work like that. And this guy's like, but I drove here for 20 minutes and blah blah blah. And I was like, hey, but again, that's not my problem. You should have taken the deal a few weeks ago, because now the deal has changed. And this guy got so angry as I'm trying to explain this to him, and I wasn't done looking through his stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna cut you off right here. We're not gonna have a deal. Have a nice day. And he's like, what? No, like I'm like, no, like you can't take that attitude with me. He was swearing at me, and I was like no. And so it escalates, and he's swearing at me, and I'm like, get the out, or I will jump over this table and rock your Like I actually I wasn't carrying a gun at that point, but I got up, I was like, get the out, or there's gonna be and this guy's swearing at me and screaming. And so the guy, he's so livid, and he storms out, slams the door, and then he goes across the street and he gets on his phone and he sits squatting, and this old guy sits there in the sweltering heat screaming on a phone for 20, 30 minutes. And I'm watching this guy, and I'm waiting for this guy to come back in. Oh wait, no, that's not the angriest I've ever seen. No, actually, I did film it. It was right after the George Floyd riots. This guy, he paid $2,000 for the diamond earrings, and I offered him $100. And shall we say there were some racial tensions because it was 2 weeks after George Floyd had been killed, and just the city just recovered from burning down. He thought that Whitey was trying to rep him off, and it's no, you got ripped off when you went to that jewelry store. And he almost hit me. We had to call the police. Okay, so I'd say it's a tie between those two. I didn't call the police on the first guy. He got so angry. So yeah. All right. Question 4 coming from Sir Buddysworth, a super subscriber. Thank you. And if you guys want to be a super subscriber, you get to see these videos uncut, or you don't get the bleeping. They're longer. You get bonus content as well. I'm doing a Patreon/super subscriber video now, doing 1 or 2 a month. Sign on up. Anyway, so Sir Buddysworth asks, this is an interesting question. If you had the opportunity to buy an item from Ted Bundy's murder kit, would you? And other items owned by serial killers. Okay, Ted Bundy, I like serial killers in that. I think they're fascinating. I don't think Ted Bundy's that interesting. The only thing I think is, and I've read, there's every serial killer has the one book about them that you gotta read. The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. Ted Bundy is not interesting to me because he didn't really have an identity. He was just this murder machine. Anne writes it in her book. She says, I don't even think Ted knew who Ted Bundy was. And people like that are, they're really, really, really dangerous. This guy was a mega serial killer, but just something about him doesn't really allure me. What does interest me about Ted Bundy is his escape and the sorority killings, and he represented himself in court, and it was so over the top insane. But I don't think Ted Bundy's that interesting. So I don't want anything from Ted Bundy. What I do want, I want a John Wayne Gacy painting. If I see one up for auction, I actually might take out a loan to buy one. I actually think he was a very good artist. His artwork is haunting. Okay, and then final question coming from Silver Days Fail asks, what are these Between the Pawn episodes really about exactly? So, how do I describe what was in my head with this? I don't want to do a Pawn Man episode every week because they take a stupid amount of work. So what it is, you're basically getting a B-Pawn, where instead of getting a monologue that I researched and it's an educational topic and I talk for 20, 30 minutes about something that took me a lot of time to learn about and research, it's just too much. And frankly, this is a better way for my audience to get to know me, know who I am, my opinions, what's current in my life, it's if you care about me more than the product of information, that's what this is for. All right, so with that, you guys, that's gonna do it for this Between the Pawn. This is a bit of a shorter one. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't know if there's gonna be a video next week or not. Everything has been disrupted by some Thank you, Britain River Antiques. You guys visit his shop, again, if you're in Sarasota, Florida, Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And again, you can visit them online too. Thank you, Patreons. Thank you, my YouTube super supporters. Thank you, everybody who's a customer, everybody who follows me. Hit the like button, subscribe, ask me questions for the next Between the Pawn. Follow me on social media, at Evan Kale, at Pawnman. Check out pawnmanstore.com. The new true crime series is dropping soon. I actually just got a text message from Lady Liberty Bullion today that he finished pouring the first mold. Get my books. I'll see you guys back here for another video. Later, guys.